Welcome to the recorded lecture of week 5 of the course Culture of the Middle East in the Cinema. The film this week is Bar Bahar, literally meaning land sea, and this expression means in between, or not here, not there. This film was made in 2016. The scriptwriter and director of the film is Maysalun Hamoud. She was born in Budapest to a Palestinian family from Deir Hanna, a village or town in the Galilee, of some 10,000 inhabitants, of which 2/3 are Muslim and 1/3 are Christian families. Hamoud's family was in Budapest because her father was studying to become a doctor in Budapest at the time. They then moved back to Israel and eventually also back to Deir Hanna. Hamoud did her BA in the Hebrew University in Jerusalem and then studied in the art school in Tel Aviv and lived in Jaffa. One of her teachers was Shlomi Elkabetz, who later was the producer of this film. He's a Jewish person. He is a famous director and producer in Israel, and we will see one of his films later on in the course. This is Hamoud's first film. It won 2 Ophir Prizes in 2016. This is an Israeli prize. And the International Film Festival in Toronto, a prize in Haifa, Haifa International Film Festival in San Sebastian in Spain, a Young Talent Award in the Cannes Film Festival, and others. So this film was a great success internationally. The film Bar Bahar tells the stories of 3 young Palestinian women who came to live in Tel Aviv, in the big city. Laila, who is played by Muna Hawa, is a criminal lawyer, originally from Nazareth. Noor, played by Shaden Kanbura, is a religious Muslim woman from al-Fahim, studying computer science at Tel Aviv University. And Salma, played by Sana Jamilieh, is a lesbian DJ from a Christian family in Tarshiha, in Upper Galilee. Sana is completely not accepted by her family, who wants her to marry a good Christian boy. Her father, who, as he said, was proud that she was so picky about the man he introduced to her, retreats from his permissiveness when he finds out that she is a lesbian. And Salma runs away from home and cannot go back to her family. Noor is engaged to a man who is very traditional and cannot accommodate her independence. She has a hard time canceling her engagement to the man she does not love and who raped her. Lucky for her, her father trusts her and appreciates her personality and supports her. Laila comes from a secular background and goes all the way in living the big city life in terms of sex and drugs. But she still feels the constraints of the traditional culture when her boyfriend, also a secular Palestinian, nags her to stop smoking. For her, this was one demand too many, and she breaks up with him. The film ends when all the main characters are at a place where they lost whatever they had, which was not ideal, and have nothing to replace it at the moment. The film belongs to the genre of youth in a big city, and specifically young women in the big city. Similarly to the famous series and later a film, Sex in the City, for example, as well as the film The Bubble, which we will watch later on in the course. The bubble is not focused on women. Focusing on young women searching for their identity in the big city away from their traditional background, this film is to be seen as a feminist film. And the feminist issue is at the core of the film. However, there's more than a feminist message in the film. It is feminism in a Muslim context. Feminism is a derivative, perhaps far away, but still a derivative, of the Enlightenment which preceded the process of secularization in Europe. And feminism, that is, the idea that women are an equal type of humans to men in terms of agency and social rights, is yet a further break with traditional values, which of a family which is based on male dominance, in the sense that, at least officially, the structure is that men make the decisions and women support men in their decisions. So the Western ideology at the moment is that women can support men or not as they wish, and can or not marry as they wish, and overall that they are independent persons responsible and decisive about their own life, whether they are married or not. I'm not saying that this is happening everywhere, but officially the Western system is secular, which means that religions are subordinate to the state. And this is the Western secular ideology, and as an ideology, it is hegemonic, penetrating into the discourse and the legal system. In Muslim societies that saw the influence of secularism in the form of Nahda, as well as a shift into the nation state, albeit enforced by colonial dominance, this ideology is not overwhelming, it is not hegemonic, it is in a state of struggle and overall much less common. Feminism in this context has more complicated ideological issues than simple Western feminism. And the Muslim feminism joins other non Western feminism and that of minorities in Western cultures, such as Black feminism in the United States, where there's a dilemma in adopting a Western ideology as a whole, since Western culture is dominating in a colonialistic manner and suppressing other cultures, the minorities and the non Western. So, when adhering to feminism, women or people find themselves betraying, so to speak, their own culture. This is a big topic in feminist studies, and I will not go into it more in details now, but just point to one character, Noor, the girl from al-Fahim, who manages to hold both her personal independence as well as her religious values. al-Fahim, where Noor comes from, is a city of some 45,000 inhabitants close to Jenin in the district of Haifa inside the Green Line. It is ruled by the Aghabariya family and is associated with the Islamic movement in recent years. Two characters from the film come from al-Fahim, Noor and her fiancé. The fiancé rapes Noor at some point, and the engagement is cancelled. This representation of Islamic people made the people of al-Fahim angry, especially the mayor, Sheikh Khaled Hamdan Aghabariya. On Thursday, the film was screened for the first time. On Friday, there was an item about it on television. On Saturday, Sheikh Khaled gave a sermon against this film. On Monday, Bayt al-Muqaddas, the Supreme Muslim Court, issued a fatwa against Hamoud. And the film was declared as haram, as banned, as sinful. she started receiving threats on her life. In some interviews, people from Fahm complain not only about the representation of the characters from Fahm, but also about the big city life and lesbianism depicted in the film. Hamoud said that while she did indeed intend to create a dialogue in Arab society in Israel, she naturally didn't mean for it to go that far. But Hamoud is a tough lady. She's managing all these tensions in her life. She's a proud feminist and a proud Palestinian, which for her is the same struggle. But she's also a peace activist. My Saloon Hamoud is a proud Palestinian, but the film is not focused on the Palestinian-Israeli relationship in the political sphere, nor on the occupation per se, as is the core of the conflict in the political discourse. It is focused on feminist issues, and in particular, feminism of a minority group. For your assignment, please discuss shortly, some 200 to 300 words, three friction points between the Jewish Israeli hegemony culture and Palestinian values as depicted in the film. Submit your assignment in the link below the lecture until Saturday, the 10th of October at midnight.